Welcome back, everybody, to the Rule of Two podcast, a podcast about all things Star Wars. As always, I am your host, Sean, and I'm joined by my faithful apprentice, Aaron.
Apprentice, dog, bro.
Sorry.
Well, we haven't had that battle yet.
All right, fine.
Dish that out later. But,
my fellow
host.
There you go. And today, let's just jump right into it, man.
Well, actually, first, let's do what the folks in the podcast industry call a little bit of housekeeping.
You want to do the housekeeping at the beginning and at the end?
Yeah, man. Let's go. No. So let's just talk about how last week we were on an episode of a podcast that one of our friends hosts called the Hold On To Your Butts podcast. Mm-hmm. If you haven't listened to that, you definitely should. It was a good time. We just went over to our friend's house, hosted by Brogan and Wyatt, and talked about all things Star Wars, the celebration.
They were great.
9.
Shout out to them. Definitely check out their podcast. It's worth a listen.
Yeah, they kind of go into just all general nerdy things, video games, all sorts of stuff. So it was a good time, and you should definitely check it out. And outside of that, I think that's about it. Do you have anything else?
No, man. I'm anxious to just
jump right into episode 9.
I'm anxious to get into it, man.
Let's do it.
So we're talking about we're gonna break this episode 9 trailer down a little bit. If you listened to our previous episode, we were fortunate enough to see this reveal live at Star Wars Celebration. That was awesome. We'll get into that a little bit later, but let's just jump right into it, man. So first scene. Well, we get the heavy breathing again. It seems to be a trait of these new trailers, right? We saw it in Force Awakens. It was Finn. Last Jedi was Rey again with the heavy breathing at the very beginning, and then we got Rey again with some more heavy breathing. So that's super exciting.
You know, it's we're in for a treat when the heavy breathing starts.
There's some heavy.
It's going to be as iconic as the Lucasfilm logo in the a long time ago in Galaxy Far, Far
Star
Away.
Star Wars trailers don't start with heavy breathing. It's not a Star Wars trailer.
Exactly.
So she's on a planet.
Another desert.
Another desert planet. Could be
Jakku.
Could be Jakku. Could be Tatooine. Could be a planet we've never seen before. It could. I mean, they're kind of in the theme of bringing stuff back, right? So it might be Tatooine, and again, could be a place we haven't seen yet.
I'm gonna guess it's a new planet.
I would like to think that they're gonna introduce us to some new shit, right? We already know that there's some other new planets that we're gonna see in this movie, but so she's on this planet. She's in the desert. She's got her lightsaber back, or Anakin's technically. Anakin's lightsaber back. It's kind of funny. Reassembled it, I guess.
I don't know. On the panel they did talk about how that is going to return, how the lightsaber is going to return. And I remember the way she worded it was because like the panel was before everybody, right? Or it was before they revealed the trailer. So it was funny the way she worded it was kind of just the lightsaber. The lightsaber of Luke. The lightsaber she inherited from Luke lives. Yeah. And I don't know if I'm looking too much into it, but she literally quoted Luke lives. So I don't know. I'm just saying. I think I think that's a hint.
You don't think Luke's actually gone?
I don't know. I mean, probably. I'm just fucking around. But.
Well, so we do hear voiceover from Luke, and this is new dialogue, right? It's not stuff that they've done before. And
he said something along the lines of, "We've passed on all we know."
He said, "We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now." So first thing that jumped out to me is he said, "We've passed on all we know."
And we know that it takes place.
Who the fuck is we?
A bit of time later, right?
Yeah,
is what he said.
So J.J. Abrams has confirmed is like it's there's been some time since the end of Last Jedi to the beginning of the rise.
So
of,
that
of
could
Skywalker.
be Yoda again. I mean, Yoda. I mean, that was a totally different planet that he force ghosted on. I mean, I guess we know that they can force ghost on any planet,
pretty
really.
much anywhere
so
they want. Right?
He was, he force ghosted there. Maybe Anakin and Luke and Yoda
are teaching
maybe
Rey.
Obi-Wan.
Maybe it's Obi-Wan.
What if Qui-Gon comes back?
Maybe it's fucking Anakin. Dude, I don't. Who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, so let's jump back into it.
We know there's a we. Yeah. Right. Okay. So then we hear a TIE fighter off in the distance, and it's racing towards her as she's standing there, kind of waiting for it. Right. Presumably, we see a TIE interceptor of some kind racing towards her, presumably Kylo Ren's. It looks.
We don't know.
We don't know
we
for
definitely
sure.
think it is.
We see a little shot of the cockpit. Kind of looks like his Kylo Ren costume. Not really sure. And the TIE fighter does have similarities to the specialized TIE fighter that's present in The Last Jedi. Although there are some differences, right?
It's still just as dope looking.
It's definitely just as dope looking. It's got a few more red accents to it. So this is the TIE fighter's racing towards Rey. She takes off her lightsaber from her belt and ignites it, and then she does this weird like turnaround double take situation thing, which felt
crazy,
a little corny to me,
little...
but it was a little weird, but it's fine. And
gotta have that dramatic effect.
And the way that they like the camera angles and it was shot really well. I loved how they filmed it. You see the TIE fighter racing across the desert, the sand kicks up, Rey starts running.
And you hear that like iconic TIE sound in the background, like just getting faint, a lot closer and closer as moving closer.
You can hear
to
like
Rey.
the TIE scream or the TIE, whatever you want to call it. So Rey's got her lightsaber on. She starts running away from the TIE fighter as if she's going to be able to get away from it. Not using any sort of force run.
Yeah, we know they've done that in the past in episode 1. Why isn't she just force running?
They can do it.
And also,
by the way, why didn't Obi-Wan force run to help go up to save Qui-Gon in episode 1?
Dude, that's
whatever. We're getting off track here.
And also, why didn't Kylo Ren shoot the fuck out of her? Like she's
with
in a
the
TIE fighter.
Yeah, why isn't he like trying to
She's not.
blast the shit out of who knows? Lots of questions, right? More questions than answers, clearly. She's running. TIE fighter gets real close. And we see exactly what I was hoping to see, which is some fucking badass Rey Jedi skills. And she does this like crazy flip over the TIE fighter. Presumably is gonna like cut one of its wings off with the lightsaber. We don't know because it immediately shoots to the next scene after that. But that was awesome. Super Very sweet cool. Action sequence. I was really hoping to see some of that in the trailer, and they delivered on it 100%.
And that was something in the panel. They asked if, like, Stephen Colbert asked if Rey was going to have any, like, super dope abilities or anything like that. And to me, I remember this because I was thinking about how she didn't really have training or anything like that, but she was still really good in the Force. And it kind of reminded me of...
She had that natural ability with the Force.
And it kind of reminded me of Starkiller from The Force Unleashed, how like he was still kind of an apprentice, but still brought down a giant Star Destroyer. And I was like, that's kind of... But so that question stuck out to me, and they said, they kind of hinted that something cool was going to happen. And I don't know if that's what they were referring to, but that was something pretty fucking cool.
I'm sure we're going to see way more Rey badassness in this movie, but we got a little taste of it, which was fucking super awesome. And then I think it was that when it was like, oh, coming this Christmas, I think is when, or was that when the text flashed across the screen where every generation has a legend?
Yeah.
Kind of like mirroring the episode 1 premiere trailer, where it's every generation has a legend and every saga has a beginning. But this time it was every generation has a legend, every saga has an end.
Really? I don't remember. I didn't put that together. I haven't seen the trailers in a long time.
I've been, watching a lot of shit.
Oh, dude, that's fucking awesome.
But apparently it was the exact same stuff, but a little bit mirrored from the original trailer of episode 1.
So it's like the beginning of the first one and the end of the last one.
Exactly.
So,
right.
That's very cool. I like that.
They definitely did it on purpose, right? So that's that scene. Then we see the next scene, and there's a ship. It's night. It's on some planet.
It kind of reminded me of not exactly Camino, because there was like installations. It had landscape, but it was really it seemed rainy, dark. It seemed rainy.
Some sort of rock formations you can see in the distance, and this ship, get a quick glance of the ship flying into some sort of outpost, some sort of city. Don't know where, don't know what the planet is. Didn't really look familiar to me. However, the one thing that did stand out was the ship itself, and it bears lots of similarities to the ship that is leaving Jakku when Rey was left there as a little girl. When in Force Awakens, she has that flashback. She's standing there watching this ship fly away. Presumably her parents or whoever she was with beforehand.
Whoever sold her.
Away. Whoever sold her, whatever
guardian,
happened.
Legal guardian in the Republic.
Who the hell knows, right? But the ship looks almost exactly like that ship. So that's interesting. And we also, I think we do know that we're going to be finding out about Rey's lineage in this movie, right?
There's at least, it's either going to be verification of what was already told or something new. I think I saw that there's rumors that they're going to retcon the storyline that Rian Johnson had of her essentially being nobody. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but if it does, I kind of hope it does.
I kind of hope it does too. I didn't really I don't know if I want her to be a Skywalker. It seems a little too obvious, but we'll see. It sounds like we are going to get some sort of answers around her lineage, right?
I think so. So then the next scene was a pretty cool scene. You see Kylo Ren rock bottoming somebody. I don't know. Giving the rock bottom to somebody.
Giving the rock bottom to somebody.
It was a sweet... from this, he's one of my most anticipated things in this movie because I think he's going to be so fucking like just raw and just savage, like something we haven't seen out of a villain yet. And
he's been a really awesome character to watch. The way they wrote his character is super awesome. He's one of my favorite characters in this new trilogy. Super in depth, lots of different layers. So agree with you. Super interested to see
armor,
what happens.
Yeah, the armor that the person was wearing was new. I didn't recognize it. I don't know if it's a Republic thing or like some people are speculating that it might be the Knights of Ren.
That's what I was just gonna say. I've watched this trailer several dozen times, and I'm like, does that? I need to go back and watch The Force Awakens, where
to the Force Vision
flashback. Yeah, the Force Vision scene where we see Kylo and the Knights of Ren. But that was my first thought. I'm like, is that one of the Knights of Ren? And he's just like slaughtering them because he's going off the fucking deep end or some shit.
Who knows? Like, that's one of the biggest things that I didn't like out of Episode 8 is that we didn't get any mention of the Knights of Ren or anything. Like
nothing.
So
that was supposed to be like a thing, and they
show it in the Force Vision. They show Snoke mention it, and I mean, it seems like it might be like a cult following of the
something
Force users that came with him, maybe
that he took with him when he destroyed the Jedi Temple that Luke was trying to build. I don't know. Who knows?
Either way, we might find out more. We might not. Probably won't.
The scenery too was sweet. It's got like all this red, like
in the midst of some big battle.
Yeah. It's gonna be dope. I can't wait to see Kylo. Just some savage fucking moments, man. Okay, so next scene is I can't really remember. The next couple ones kind of just like blur together a little bit.
I think there's a lot of action in it. A lot of like
we see a fight, chase scene.
Yeah, almost
of some kind. Like presumably on the same desert planet.
Where they're, I mean, it'd be a little bit more actiony, but like the speeder bikes. That as well as like the little scarifs, or not scarifs, but the little skiffs, I think are what they're called, that they're on.
Yeah, that maybe it's kind of Finn and C-3PO are on.
Yeah, to me that kind of harkens back to Return of the Jedi when they're on the desert, when they're on Tatooine and on those skiffs, and this is we're 40 years later, so they have a lot better technology to. And it looks like the same
planet that we see at the beginning of the trailer with Rey.
I would imagine, because I mean, we obviously know the Empire's there as well, or the First Order,
right?
Because Kylo's there. So.
Yeah. So probably a huge sequence there for sure.
And when also one thing to note, C-3PO is in the midst of the battle.
Yeah, well, I don't think. Well, we have seen C-3PO.
We have, but like it's battles. It wouldn't be Star Wars if he's not like running around all frantic, evading laser bolts somehow.
True story. Let's see. What else do we see? We see a shot of
Lando.
We see Lando. And Chewie. They're back on the Falcon. Oh my gosh, so awesome.
That's gonna be great.
See Billy D. Williams, Lando back on his ship. And his outfit looks a lot like the one that Donald Glover wore in Solo, which is kind of cool.
He never lost his sense of style.
Never did. And wow, what a great like choice of casting for Lando in that movie, of Solo being Donald Glover. They hit the nail on the head on that one for sure. But we see them back on the Falcon, and something that I saw is that the Millennium Falcon has its circular dish back again. There's no longer that rectangle one that we see, because it got knocked off. I don't remember which movie in Return of the Jedi, and then in The Force Awakens, it's like this rectangular one that they replaced it with. But it looks like it's got its signature.
Mando probably didn't like that. He's like, no, not on this.
He's like, Rose, go fucking fix this shit, you worthless bitch. No, I'm just kidding. I am excited to see.
Take that back. She's awesome.
I know. I don't know why I said that. She's awesome. I can't wait to see what her character does in this movie. But what else do we see? We see a quick shot of BB-8 and a new droid.
I forget what the droid. Dio. Yeah.
Quick little nothing shot.
They brought
really
him up on stage in the on the panel.
They did cool. Like a working.
Yeah, it was kind of cool looking. I don't know how the fuck they do that shit.
I don't know either. And the droids were like reacting to each other, reacting to the people on stage when they were talking, looking. It's
awesome.
It's really amazing what the Imagineers of Disney have been able to do with some of those things. Let's see what else we see. We see an A-wing that's presumably been shot down. It's like spiraling out of control. Around. About to crash. Interesting. Don't know what that's about. We see a shot of the medal that Luke and Leia and Han are awarded at the end of episode 4, A New Hope.
We get to see
somebody's holding it and like caressing the medal.
Who would that be? That would be like caressing it. Would that be Leia? Maybe
could be probably Leia. Like maybe it's Rey, and because Leia gave it to her or something. I don't know. Speaking of Leia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get to see a shot of Leia.
Her and Daisy Ridley embracing each other, which was fantastic, and it kind of makes me want to cry every time I see it.
Yeah, it's going to be sad seeing her on screen again.
It's going to be sad, and we know that it actually is Carrie Fisher. They had some unused footage from episode 7 that they never used, and from what it sounded like listening to the panel at Celebration is that they kind of built these scenes and some of the plotline of this movie around those scenes to make it make sense so that they can still have Leia, Carrie Fisher being Leia in this movie, which is awesome and it's going to be super emotional.
I know. Like, I think that's the best way that they could have went about doing this, right? I mean, they had other options. They could have recasted. That would have just been the worst decision. The opposite of
thing they
the best decision.
Obviously, not even a choice.
That wasn't even on the table. They could have done what they did in Rogue One. I mean,
with Grand Moff Tarkin,
yeah,
which
and Leia, but
Leia.
That's a little different because she was young. But you know, I
still
think
looked good. It wouldn't have been horrible, but I'm glad that they went down the route that they did.
And the way J.J. Abrams kind of talked about it was essentially that those weren't even options to them. They didn't even want to do that.
There was never a second guess. There was never a question.
I think that kind of shows maybe the creativity of the team that's writing the movie. Hopefully, then I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it.
And also the dedication to like keeping Star Wars true and pure. You know what I mean? Like they clearly care a lot about doing this movie right. Let's see what else, man. We see a shot of Poe and Finn. Finn's got his own look
new
now,
attire.
Finally,
yeah.
Which we know is important to like. John Vega said that was important to him, to Finn, to finally find his
identity.
His identity, right. And Poe has picked up the identity of Nathan Drake from Uncharted. Weird,
which is
but fine.
A surprise.
He rocks it.
Welcome one. Sorry, I'll say that every time I think of a surprise.
And then I think we come to the final scene of the trailer where. The most exciting one, for sure.
What, like water planet?
Planet.
It doesn't look like it's the forest moon of Endor. Maybe it's a different moon of Endor than the forest moon.
Maybe it is Endor moon. Itself. Could be Endor. I didn't think Endor wasn't habitable. It was habitable, but they're on some planet. It's Poe and Finn and Rey and C-3PO is there, and I think R2-D2 and BB-8.
Yeah. And Poe looks like you caught this last time, the last viewing that we had of it, of where he's kind of nursing his elbow or something like
something. It almost looks like his arm is in a sling, but he's not wearing a sling. I don't know if that's just the way he was standing, or maybe it was hurt, injured in some battle or something. I don't know. Rey's carrying a bag of something. Don't know what's in it, but they're walking up to this cliff, and we see a shot of the remains, presumably the second Death Star, in this body of water.
I'm actually surprised at how big that looks. Like, with the way that thing exploded in Return of the Jedi, I would think there'd be nothing left.
How is there that big of a piece left of it?
It is what it is, but I think it's definitely the dish of the Death Star where the laser comes out. Like, there's no question.
There's no question. It definitely is. Pretty sure it's the second Death Star, and the reason for that being, so we see that shot of the Death Star, cuts to black, and then we hear a very familiar evil laugh.
The infamous cackling of Darth Sidious.
Which, and again, we saw this trailer live at Celebration, and every hair on my body stood straight up, and I still get a little teary eyed just thinking about it. I geek out every time I watch this trailer. Holy shit, dude! The fucking Emperor fucking Palpatine is back. He's fucking to what extent we don't know yet.
We have no idea.
Is he a Force ghost? Right? Is it a holocron?
So,
is it a...
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be back. But, there's so many theories out there, like that Snoke was just one of many clones. They may be bringing back the idea of Emperor Palpatine being able to clone himself, like from the expanded universe where he had multiple clones.
Right.
And so maybe he was just one of those clones.
And not out of the realm of possibilities. We know cloning is a thing in the Star Wars universe. Huge deal about that with the clones and the prequels. Could absolutely be a clone.
Yeah, and with the idea
they've been starting to recanonize some of this stuff in the expanded universe slowly here and there, right?
Yeah, and
so
why not that as well?
Absolutely,
if they can do it in a good way, I think it'd be pretty cool.
I just want to see some. I mean, we know he's going to be in it in some fashion.
So we also know that he had this contingency plan, right? Like if the Emperor died, then the Empire had to be destroyed.
Because the Emperor wasn't strong enough to protect its Emperor.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, so he had other ideas in mind of what he wanted, what he was going to do, right? So...
Because the First Order was his idea.
Yeah. And did he know that he was going to die? Maybe. Maybe he actually knew that was going to happen, or that it was a possibility, right? So he planned for that.
Or maybe he wanted to die. Because there's another theory that Plagueis had never really died, right? He was this all-powerful Sith, and maybe similarly to how we know if there's any Darth Bane novel fans out there, we know that at the end of the Darth Bane series, he transfers his consciousness into his apprentice's body because his body was no longer. It was. I mean, when you're a dark side Force user, it deteriorates your physical form, right? It can't stand up for it for that amount of time. So he needed to find another vessel, and there's this theory that that's what Plagueis has been doing this whole time. That Palpatine didn't actually. In theory, it could be all like the way back to Darth Bane. We don't know, right? But we know that Plagueis was able to create life, save people from dying, and manipulate the midichlorians in a way that really no other Force user has done that we know of. So maybe Palpatine didn't actually kill him. Maybe when he killed him, he actually transferred himself into Palpatine's body, and maybe Palpatine wanted Luke to kill him so that he could transfer himself into Luke's body, which again might have been what he wanted to do with Darth Vader, but then Darth Vader got all maimed and fucking lame.
Fuck, man! Now I gotta find somebody else.
He's like, damn it,
this motherfucker for years. I literally created you, and you had to go and jump into a fucking flame lava pool, river, whatever.
Obi-Wan had the high ground, man. He warned him. He didn't fucking listen.
He told him not to do it.
He didn't fucking listen.
But yeah, I think I like that idea as well. And then one thing that I don't know if that holds true to me is then would it be that Snoke was Palpatine, but then Palpatine, is the Sith user, right?
Yeah.
And then that, like, he knew that Kylo Ren was doing what he was doing, right? He was literally like, it's kind of obvious.
He was narrating
Kylo's
his own
death,
and,
right?
Right.
But the idea was that he was seeing it as somebody like he was seeing it as Kylo killing Rey, right? I mean, that's the idea, and that it clouded his vision, blah blah blah. But what if he knew that it wasn't doing that? Like, he's all old, he has no hair, whatever. So
super powerful though.
Yeah,
he's super powerful.
So,
but his body's clearly
know that was going to happen,
right?
and then transfer his essence into Kylo.
Ren.
Or actually, did he do it into Rey? That'd be interesting.
Ooh.
But the thing I don't like about that is that, like, then why would he just turn around and want to end everything? Like, at first he just wanted to end everything, and then I don't know.
You know why?
He's not.
Ryan Johnson. That's why.
Yeah, fuck Ryan Johnson.
But that's one theory, right? I mean, some parts of it make sense. Some parts are a little thin. But maybe it's just the same way that Rey's getting training from Luke in the afterlife. Maybe Kylo's seeking out some source of knowledge to become more powerful. They all are,
right?
You know?
I mean, there's a thing where, like, the essence of the dark side Force user stays in the place they died, right? So, like, you always heard of that with, like, in the EU, I think, like, Exar Kun and stuff like that was, like, killed in all the Massassi temples or whatever,
right?
So that could be a thing, yeah.
Mark Ragnos,
exactly. So,
like, their
we also know,
like, in their tombs, right?
And we also know it's canon that they do have those spirits, right? Because Emperor Palpatine talks to Darth Bane, right?
Does he?
In the Clone Wars.
Yoda talks to Darth
Bane. Damn it. That's what I meant. Yoda talks to...
I was like, when did that scene fucking happen?
I don't
that would have been
I don't
dope.
know why I said Palpatine, but it's been a while since.
Yoda...
So we do know that Bane is canon and that he materialized himself in the known world and in the living world in some way, right?
Could be
maybe
more
that's
than likely.
I think
probably
what's going to happen.
That Palpatine isn't actually alive in physical form, but
like
his... What?
I would like that. I'd like him. I would rather him be alive still.
I would too, man. Ultimately, but realistically, probably not. Probably just a dark side ghost of some kind.
But either way, I'm just super excited about him being back.
I'm so excited about him being back, and they're just feeding the fans right now, which is fucking fantastic. I love that they're, like, giving us finally giving us a taste of, like, what we want, because they didn't do that at all with the fucking Last Jedi. They basically gave us everything that we didn't fucking want, as far as major plot lines go, and I'm so excited for this movie, man. I'm so fucking
kind of along those lines with the Last Jedi. So, to me, one thing I'm not liking about this trilogy, and I'm gonna wait until after The Rise of Skywalker comes out to, obviously formulate my opinion on the trilogy, because you have to see the whole trilogy to formulate your opinion on it. But like, it's the way we see now, it's like every movie contradicted the last, right? So, like, even with The Force Awakens, like, it contradicted The Return of the Jedi, because, like, oh, by the way, these people that were all partying together, they haven't seen each other in years. Luke, nobody even knows where the fuck Luke is. Luke's some hermit on some, planet. We're going to kill off all of your people. That, the Republic is dead. And the First Order is the Empire, and the Rebellion is the Resistance, right? So it just essentially canceled the Return of the Jedi.
It's such a disconnected trilogy so far, man. Yeah. Whereas the other ones are cohesive.
A lot more cohesive.
They all feed out, like, the story makes sense. If you watch 1, 2, and 3, they all follow each other. They all carry on those plot lines. 4, 5, and 6, same deal there. And this one's just very...
And then Episode 8 comes in, and literally, it's like Ryan Johnson just tossed whatever J.J. Abrams had out the fucking window, just like Luke did with that lightsaber. Canceled all that shit, right? Let the past die, kill it if you have to.
It's a very symbolic opening scene for Last Jedi of Luke just taking the lightsaber and throwing. This is exactly what the whole movie is. It sets the tone for the whole movie. Oh, hey, all the stuff that you know about Star Wars? Forget about it.
Yep,
gone.
Exactly. And then,
and not just from The Force Awakens, from all of the movies before that. They basically were just like, no, Sorry.
Luke's just a legend. He's not really that cool.
Yeah, everything you knew or thought was going to happen.
And like they literally say, "Let the past die, kill it if you have to, move on." Blah blah blah. And to me, that's kind of symbolic. But then with Episode 9, they're like, "Hey, remember Lando? Remember the Death Star? Remember Palpatine? Check it out, guys."
I remember. Oh, that's another scene we forgot. We see Kylo rebuilding his helmet.
Exactly.
So let the past die. Get rid of that helmet. He smashes the fucking thing. But now he's rebuilding it. Now he's going back to what he started off as. I hope that there are some things that I want to be retconned, but I hope they don't do too much because otherwise the fucking trilogy doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm excited about The Rise of Skywalker.
Let's talk about a little bit about the title.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the last thing in the trailer, right? Is Star Wars and moves up. And
we hear the laugh, yeah. And then Star Wars, which is in blue text now. They went yellow, then red,
blue,
and then blue. But we see The Rise of Skywalker, which is weird. Lots of theories out there. It could mean lots of different things. Rise of Skywalkers was at first was a little surprising to me because I thought the Skywalkers were ending. How are they now
this
rising?
Is literally the end of the
Skywalker
saga, but it's titled The Rise of Skywalker. It's confusing.
So what's your favorite theory?
So I think it's going to be the theory around where Skywalker is the new Jedi. Right?
I absolutely agree.
So to me, they kind of tell us that in the titles, right? The Last Jedi. And the Jedi need to end. Okay, the Jedi as a religion, they had their faults. I mean, everybody had their faults their own issues with
Yoda himself destroyed like the original Jedi temple.
Exactly.
Right?
So, and then the Rise of Skywalker. I think them showing that kid at the end of The Last Jedi is kind of important. It may play a role in at least
the kid who grabs the broom with the Force at the very end,
to showcase a new generation of Force users, right? And I think that they may be calling them the Skywalkers, because
so like instead of Jedi, if you're a Force user who follows this supposed new religion, you're a Skywalker.
And I think that also ties into the Thrawn novels. If you remember, we did 2 episodes on the new Thrawn, and I think it was the second one. Yeah, definitely the second one.
It was the second one.
Thrawn was traveling with Anakin Skywalker during the time of the Clone Wars, and he essentially tells them that the word, the translation in Chiss for Force user is Skywalker. Like Sky-Walker.
Yeah.
So that's what they call them. So, I think that makes sense.
I think it makes sense too, and I think that's the most likely of the theories of what that title means. It doesn't. I really don't think it has anything to do with the actual name, that lineage, the Skywalker lineage. It doesn't make much sense.
So, what are some of your predictions? What are your main predictions?
Oh my god.
Is the First Order? The First Order is gonna. See, this kind of sucks because I know it's the end of the trilogy. It's the end of the saga. It's the end of the trilogy of trilogies.
Yeah.
Right? And I know it's gonna end on a good note. So
I have no doubt that J.J. Abrams is gonna knock this out of the fucking park, man.
Gonna lose Resistance, but how are they gonna do that?
What's
going to happen to Kylo Ren?
What's
going to happen?
Is the First Order not? I mean, maybe it's going to be around at the end, and the whole story is oh well, with this new generation of Jedi Force users, the Skywalkers will eventually be able to. I don't know. Who knows, man? I don't. Maybe the First Order will come to an end. Maybe it'll still be around. I mean. At the end of the Return of the Jedi, the Death Star blew up, but the Empire wasn't gone. We know that they still stuck around for quite a long
4 years,
time.
I think.
Yeah,
the Battle of Jakku was their last stand.
Right, and there were still remnants of it even after that, a little bit. Not a ton, but there was it took a while to fully eradicate. So I don't know that we're literally going to see a full, complete destruction of the First Order. Dude, I can't even begin to think about prediction. I can tell you some things that I would love to see happen. I want an epic lightsaber battle. like an epic one. We haven't had one
yet.
Really,
yeah, we've had. So okay, so we had a lightsaber. I do like the lightsaber battle in.
So let's start with Force Awakens, right? So we had the lightsaber battle at the end between Finn and Kylo first, which was kind of just like a jerk off a little bit, right?
Just fucking around with
as soon as Finn got hit on him, Kylo destroyed him pretty much, right? And then we've got Rey and Kylo, which I mean, Kylo was still an apprentice. Rey didn't really know what the fuck she was doing. For The Last Jedi, we get the battle in the throne room.
But it wasn't really lightsaber on lightsaber.
It wasn't lightsaber on lightsaber at all. It was Kylo and Rey killing the Praetorian guards, right?
And then Luke and Kylo, which again wasn't
no lightsaber contact whatsoever because he was a Force protection. So I wanted epic fucking lightsaber battle, dude. That was what I loved. On the scale
of Episode 3, right?
You can say what you want about the prequel trilogies. 2. That was one thing they did right. It was action, 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 dude. Space battles, lightsaber battles out the fucking ass. And we haven't got that really at all in this fucking trilogy yet, man. I want an epic lightsaber battle. I want to see I don't know who else it would be other than Kylo and Rey. Kylo's clearly become more evil and more powerful. So has Rey. She's learned a couple new tricks. I want to see some dope fucking action between the two of them.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing as well. And one thing I just realized, though, one of the things that we won't get that I would love to see, unless somehow they filmed this years ago, but we won't see a Lando-Leia reunion.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that. That's fucking shitty, dude. Man.
That sucks.
You know what we could see, though? We could see a Lando... Nub religion. Reunion.
Oh, you know what we are going to see? I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand, but Lando and L3 reunion because she's like the thing that powers, like the L3, the droid that died, is kind of formulated in the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Wait, how do we know that? Do we learn that in Solo?
I thought we learned that in Solo. At least the book.
I thought she was just a droid and she's fucking gone. Now she's
like
dead.
The thing that powers the ship. That's why, like, it. I
did not get that from that movie.
C-3PO always says that the Millennium Falcon has a peculiar thing, like
Oh.
And it's because it's L3.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
I did not
think he's gonna stick his dick in like a
He's fluid, baby. He could. We don't know. Beyond that, I have no idea what the fuck's going to happen in this movie, which I kind of like not knowing. Some things that I would like to happen, obviously a lightsaber battle. I want to see I want Palpatine to ultimately be responsible for this whole fucking thing.
I do too. Yeah, they need to, or they don't need to. I would love to see them tie in like Palpatine's grand vision from the Empire was
beginning
to what he did, what hopefully he did with the First Order.
That's the one thing I want more than anything out of this movie. I want to know what the deal was with Snoke. He can't just beat nobody.
I hope that ties into the background of like how they're bringing Palpatine into this. Because if he was just a scrub that Palpatine used to do something, I'm actually cool with that.
That would be better than what we have now, which is fucking nothing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looking forward to finding out who Rey is finally and why she's so powerful in the Force. That's going to be kind of cool. Hopefully they do it right. I beyond that, I'm just overcome with emotion about this fucking movie, man.
Yep, and it's gonna be sad too because it's gonna be one of the. I mean, it's the last saga film, last episodic film. But we also know Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, mentioned that Star Wars movies are going on a hiatus after Episode 9. So
we're not gonna get one for a while, man.
Probably won't get one for a while. Going to be focusing solely on the Mandalorian, I guess, and video games, TV.
Which is okay as long as they're pumping out other stuff, man. I mean, I liked all of the little in-between movies they did. Rogue One has got to be one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
That is definitely up there as one of my favorites.
And Solo was awesome. A lot of people, it got a lot of trash. I don't know why.
undue trash. I don't understand because that movie was fucking awesome.
It was fucking awesome.
Setting up for
maybe
a trilogy.
Because it came out.
Darth Maul.
Dude,
that was one of the best surprises in Star Wars history.
Dude, they did everything right with that movie. That movie was so good. The casting, the dialogue.
There wasn't
the action,
too much fan service, but there was
enough.
Just enough fan service that I liked it. Oh man, dude. I fully do not understand why people hate that movie.
I don't either.
I think maybe
movie,
they released it a little see the movie.
Seriously, I couldn't agree with you more, man. I mean, maybe they came out a little too quickly after maybe there wasn't enough hype build up around it, I guess. But other than that, it was a great movie. I loved Solo. It was fantastic. And there was apparently an Obi-Wan movie had been confirmed.
It hadn't been confirmed, but it had been.
I thought it had been confirmed, but it wasn't confirmed that who was going to play Obi-Wan.
In a Boba Fett movie, too.
In a Boba Fett movie. I want all those. I still want those.
I don't understand why they haven't already released 3 different Obi-Wan movies with Ewan McGregor. Like, come on.
Dude, I don't get it either.
Come on.
I don't really get it. They're sitting on a fucking gold mine and they're just, we're going to stop for a while. It clearly hasn't worked out for any of our other movie conglomerates that we own, Marvel. So why make more?
Yeah, doesn't make any sense to me. Does not make any sense.
So that was the trailer, man. Comes out in December. I can't believe we have to fucking wait till December.
That's like 8 months away, dude.
December
20th. I think they officially made a release date. Yeah.
I didn't see that. That's sweet. Yeah. Okay, December 20th. 8 fucking months. It can't come soon enough.
It's gonna be a long time. It's gonna be a long time waiting.
Way too fucking long. But
this year's gonna be a great year for Star Wars. We got December, the Rise of Skywalker. November we have both The Mandalorian and Jedi Fallen Order. Clone Wars Season 7.
Biggest video game I'm excited about. Clone Wars. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting about Clone Wars.
More Resistance, which we haven't really talked a whole lot about. Haven't finished it yet, so
I haven't even started watching. I need to do that.
But yeah, I think that's it for this episode. I don't have anything else to talk about with episode 9.
I don't think so either. I mean, with that, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Check out our website, RoTKast.com, RoTKast. Email us at rotcast@gmail.com. Leave us your feedback. Tune in next time. That's all we got for you today, guys.
Later.
Peace.